Hey guys, it's John C Morley here, serial entrepreneur. Welcome to IFYL, which is Inspirations for Your Life. I'm so glad that you have decided to join in today's show. I think you guys are going to really enjoy it. We're talking more about this great topic, but before we get into the topic, I want to just thank you for being here, whether you're here at 12:05 a.m., 12:05 in the afternoon, 3 a.m., 3 p.m., 6 a.m., 6 p.m., doesn't matter. Thank you so much for being here. Really does mean a lot to me that you're here. And so let's get right into our show, all right? So the master topic for the week is understanding kindness. And we're on series 3, third year, show number 12. And our granular topic for tonight is Kindness Chronicles, Unlocking Life's Treasures, Series 3, Show 12. And we're on episode number 2. Number 2, everyone. So, we got a lot of cool stuff to share with you guys tonight. So we're talking about kindness because I think a lot of people mistake what kindness is, what it is and what it isn't. I think that's a big problem for a lot of people. So I want to draw on a quote right now, and I think this is probably a very good way to understand it. And it's this quote right now, and here's the quote, everyone. First quote is this: "You cannot do kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late." Ralph Waldo Emerson. I love his quotes. His quotes are amazing. But what the heck does that mean? So you cannot do kindness too soon. Well, what that really means is that there's never a wrong time to start being kind to someone. And why not start being kind to someone from the first time you see them, right? For you never know how soon it will be too late. That's trying to talk about regret, in the fact that if you're kind to someone, then you're going to have no regrets. You're not going to say, "Oh my gosh, I wish I would have done this when they were alive," or "I wish I would have done this when they were well," or "I wish I would have done." You get my point? That's how that works. And so I want to share with you the point that you can't do it too soon. That's number one. And you want to do it because you want that person to experience kindness, and you don't want to have any regrets like, "Oh, I wish I would have done kindness. Why didn't I do that before?" So that's really the reason when we talk about kindness. And I think everyone out here maybe gets confused because they feel that kindness should be one way, but then they wonder why it's not that way. And I think the reason it's not that way is because they get so psyched into thinking that you got to know somebody so long before you can be kind to them. I want to go to another quote. It's by Mark Twain. "Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see." Those are some powerful words too. Kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. I think that's important to understand. Understanding that kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. I think a lot of people just don't get that. They don't understand what that means. And if they don't understand what that means, then they're basically going to be confused in life. And they're going to be unhappy. So what we mean by that is if somebody is deaf, so let me try to make this very easy. So how can you show kindness to a deaf person? That's probably the best way to explain it. So one thing you can do to them is you can offer a simple, kind gesture, right? You can help them with something. You can Remember to put people first. I think the biggest thing you could do for them is you could give them a card. You could give them a pat on the back. You could just smile at them. But if they're deaf, when they experience this from you, they connect. And I think a lot of people don't necessarily know what that means. So I'm here to tell you that kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. So you could be kind to a blind person. You could say nice things to them, right? To them, you could give a card. A deaf person, a blind person couldn't give a card to. A deaf person, you could give a card to. But you could do a Braille card for a blind person, right? You could sing them a song. You could tell them how much you care about them. And a deaf person, you could do a picture of something, right? Like a thank you note. With a blind person, you can say thank you, but you have to tell them, right? What Mark Twain was trying to say is that it's a language, and the language causes people to vibrate at a higher level. When we vibrate at a higher level, we are able to feel better. We're able to live on a high, a natural high. Do you ever wish, maybe when you were younger, that people would have praised you, but they didn't? So don't have regrets. Or I should say, you don't want people that you're around to have regrets, so why not be kind to them now? And the last quote I want to talk about tonight is, "It doesn't cost me anything to be kind." Paddington. They might be saying, John, who the heck is Paddington? I don't know anybody named Paddington. Well, Paddington is a pretty remarkable character. Paddington Bear. Do you guys all know the story? You know, what do you guys remember? Like, what was do you remember what was the plot and the story of Paddington Bear? Do you guys remember that? Did any of you see it? So it revolves around a young bear from the darkest Peru who travels to London, England in search of a new home. It was discovered actually at the Paddington station by the Brown family, who takes him in and offers him a place to stay. Named after the station where he was found, Paddington is a polite and well-meaning bear, but he often finds himself in humorous and sometimes chaotic situations due to his naivety, being naive, I should say, and misunderstanding of human customs. Throughout the series of books by Michael Bond, Paddington navigates various adventures and encounters with the help of his duffel coat, hat, and love for marmalade sandwiches. He charms everyone he meets with his kind-hearted nature and brings joy with chaos wherever he goes. The stories often focus on themes of friendship, acceptance, and the importance of kindness. Hint, hint. Despite his clumsiness and occasional mishaps, Paddington's positive outlook and unwavering optimism endearing him to readers of all ages, making him a beloved character. So what were some of Paddington's mishaps? Well, he flooded the bathroom in the one story of the Paddington, an attempt to take a bath, but ends up flooding the bathroom by leaving the tap running. He creates chaos in the kitchen. Paddington often tries to help in the kitchen, but usually ends up causing chaos instead. Whether it's making salt for sugar or mixing up ingredients. His attempts at cooking often lead to comic disasters. Getting lost due to his adventurous nature and tendency to wander, Paddington sometimes gets lost in the bustling streets of London, leading to frantic searches by the Brown family. Causing mayhem at the market, Paddington's visits to the markets are never dull, whether he's accidentally releasing balloons or knocking over displays or getting tangled in shopping carts. He always manages to create a scene. He had a mishaps with technology. Paddington's encounter with modern technology, such as phones and computers, often results in amusing misunderstandings and technological mishaps. Customs. Paddington, unfamiliarly with human customs and etiquette, frequently leads to misunderstandings and awkward situations, such as trying to shake hands with a stranger who mistaking is a costume party for reality, which, he doesn't mean anything by it. And despite all these mishaps, Paddington's good intentions and kind heart always shine through, endearing him to readers as a charming and lovable character. Now, I want to share something with you. I'm not going to give the name to protect the guilty or share the innocent, what have you. I was involved in something a while back. And the thing that comes to mind is this. I said to the people on the very last day of volunteering, I said, look, I know you have a kind heart. I said, I know you don't mean to be that way. Or I didn't even say that. I think I said, I know you have a kind heart, or I know you have a good heart and always have the best intentions. And when you say something like that, people can't get angry. People are like, it's like saying, I know you're good. I don't really tell you about all the challenges you caused. People are like, hey, I know you didn't mean anything by it, or I know you always mean my best. That goes a long way. The stories of Paddington, though, I have to tell you, they're very amazing. All the stories of Paddington, or if we had to list out, let's say, all the stories of Paddington, they're pretty cool. A Bear Called Paddington was in 1958. There was more about Paddington that came out later on. Actually, that came out in 1959. Paddington Helps Out in 1960. So A Bear Called Paddington is the first book in the series. Paddington arrives in London and his adoption by the Brown family. In 1959, the book continues to chronicles Paddington's adventure as he settles into life with the Browns. In the 1960s, Paddington finds himself in various amusing situations as he tries to help out around the house. In 1961, Paddington travels to other countries, leading to cultural misunderstandings and humorous escapades. In 1962, more misadventures await Paddington as he explores London and encounters new challenges. In 1964, the Paddington adventures continue as he embarks on new escapades and learns valuable life lessons. In 1966, the book sees Paddington trying his hand at various jobs with predictability and very hilarious results. In 1968, Paddington navigates the bustling city streets of London, getting into mischief along the way. And in 1970, the Paddington enjoys various outdoor activities from picnics to kite flying with his trademark clumsiness. In 1974, the Paddington adventures reach new heights as he tackles challenges with his usual charm and optimism. In 1979, Paddington takes the test. Paddington faces challenge and tests of character in his installment of his adventures. In 2008, in the modern installment, Paddington continues to spread joy and chaos in the contemporary London. So the thing I think that's important when we think about kindness is there's lots of ways that we can embrace kindness. There are lots of ways, but how can we show, let's say, a blind person kindness? Well, we can offer assistance. That could be walking, guiding them necessarily around, describing the surroundings for them, like, this is a red room, or this has a piano in the center, it has an atrium glass, and you try to give them a depiction. You communicate clearly, you're respectful. You treat the blind individual with the same respect and dignity as you would anyone else. You can offer to read, materials aloud if needed, guide dogs, educate yourself, time to learn about blindness and visual impairments, be patient, and respect their independence. So, how would you be kind to a deaf person? Well, learn sign language if you'd like to do that. That's not easy from the ASL, the American Sign Language. It could be something as simple, ladies and gentlemen, as saying hello, thank you, and how are you can make a significant difference. Use written communication, face them directly, avoid shouting, provide visual cues and gestures. Pointing, nodding, and gesturing can help convey meaning and facilitate understanding. Use technology such as text messaging, email, or messaging apps to communicate efficiently. I had a conversation with someone the other day, and it was via text, and then I learned that the person was deaf, and I was going to meet them to go over something, but then I was noticing that there was a communication barrier. And I decided that we should keep it on text for a while to make sure everything was going to be, the way they wanted before we went out and did this service call. Something just told me before we went out to text the person and just kind of make sure they're comfortable. And good thing I did, because they had a complete misconception of what it was going to cost, and how we were going to perform the service. Of course, respect their communication. Include them in conversations, be patient, understanding, and educate others. So we've learned a lot today about kindness, and we talked about people that are deaf, people that are blind, and I think just having respect. If I had to ask you, what does the word, let's say, respect stand for? If we had to, what does it mean for it? Well, basically, recognize is the first thing. Acknowledge the individuality, dignity, and rights of others. Empathy, understand and appreciate the feelings and perspectives and experiences of others. Support, offer assistance, encouragement, and validation to others in their endeavors and challenges. P, politeness, interact with others in courteous, respectful, and considerate manners. Equality, treat everyone fairly and impartially, regardless of differences in background, beliefs, or status. And C, courtesy. Demonstrate good manners, kindness, and civility in interactions with others. And lastly, T, trustworthiness, being reliable, dependable, and accountable in one's actions and commitment. Respect encompasses a range of attitudes and behaviors that honor the worth and autonomy of individuals, fostering positive relationships, cooperation, and a sense of dignity and belonging as part of the society. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It has been an amazing privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you this fantastic, well, really not the evening, it's in the wee hours of Monday morning, March 18th. But I want to thank you for being here with me. It was really fun being here and conveying more about kindness. I really love talking about this and sharing these amazing quotes from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Remember the two before we go. You cannot do kindness too soon, for you never know how soon it will be too late. And the other one we had was kindness is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Mark Twain and Paddington. It doesn't cost me anything to be kind. And that was the whole thing. The bear came to that understanding, this little bear, that it doesn't cost anything to be kind. And he gave his marmalade jelly to other people. Loved his marmalade jelly, but he gave it and he shared it. And he loved being kind. All right, guys, I do have to run. I hope you have a fantastic evening and morning. And I'll catch you guys later tonight. All right, everyone, be well. Take care.